My name is Nassim Sabs.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
Hi, I'm Jack, and this is Straight Talk About God going to the world via the internet. We're here at KMUD in California. I mean, what do those little gray guys, or those big lizard guys, want? What do they want? Illuminati mind control research turns up a whole lot of wonderful information on aliens. Hey, if there's anything that can be used to influence masses of people, the Illuminati are already in on it. The queen of the alien New Age movement, Shirley MacLaine, is straight out of the Illuminati family, the Beatty family. Let's start with Andy Perot. Andy Perot, he's a non-family member. And we'll see some of his recollections about alien contact. Now, this is a paramilitary trained, quote-unquote, Superman. They got him into the program early. He's not a family member. I have to stress that. So, you see, he's not privy to all the Illuminati history like a family member would be, or some of the history. You know, they compartmentalize real well within the family. And you're only told what you need to know. Sometimes you don't even know who your parents are until you're middle-aged. And he doesn't have a lot of that information because he's a non-family member. You remember Jason Bourne? I keep mentioning his name in the Bourne Identity. That's who Andy Perot is, a $32 million weapon. Okay, this was an interview with Andy. There's several things you can find about him on the internet. Andy, P-E-R-O, Perot. This is part of the interview where he talks about aliens. On one occasion, I was introduced to a reptilian being while in an underground base sometime in 1989 and 1990. At first, I saw a 7-foot-tall human, Aryan-looking man. He walks toward me, and I notice that his image phases out, as if something interfered with an energy field. He does something to a device on his belt, and he tells me, quote, "Okay, I'll show you." Then he pushes a button, and then I see his image change into a 7-foot-tall lizard-like creature who looked like he weighed over 400 pounds. I was introduced to a group of beings that claimed to be a subgroup of the Illuminati. They were made up of a group of about 40 or 50 men, all about 6'2" or taller, white, and of an indeterminate older age, averaging maybe 70. But I suspect much older considering the technology that they have access to. Now, we could talk about that for a long time, but we'll skip by it. They convene in a boardroom with a huge wooden table that's in the shape of a football. Each chair has a control panel, and a television screen comes out from the side of the table for each one of the chairs. And there's a huge screen located in the front of the room as well. During one of the meetings, about 1/3 of the men reached over to their belts and turned a knob on a small white box that they had on their belt, and their human image dissolved to reveal that they were not human at all, but these were huge lizard-type creatures. In other words, the reptilians. As for aliens, I think that most alien greys are either under the authority or in collaboration with the reptilians, the Dracos, and the Illuminati. based on some of my experiences and memories that are still returning to me. Still returning. He doesn't have complete memory just yet. Some gray groups are in conflict with the reptilian Draco agenda and are doing their own thing. Human gray hybridization programs. Doing their own thing, so to speak. Their agenda gets into heavy spiritual matters having to do with acquiring an emotional body and an ability to ascend to higher dimensions. They're using humans to accomplish this via the human-alien hybrids. Humans have the key in terms of having a threefold essence or unity of being physical, emotional, and spiritual. Other aliens have lost this unity of being because of the fall of grace, is put in parentheses here, thus inhibiting them from ascending to higher dimensions or evolving to higher levels. Now, this gets back to the original Luciferic rebellion, fallen angels, and the various conflicts between species. Now, he indicates that aliens are angels, fallen angels, not space travelers like we think of. What we now call our stealth technology is actually the gray alien technology given to us in trade by the gray alien species. The Department of the Navy made an agreement with the Greys to exchange technologies for human women and children subjects to conduct horrific breeding experiments. The Greys are what you see when you look at most of the alien drawings made by abductees. I have heard from a friend of mine that according to certain sources, George Bush also held the 42nd degree in Masonry, even though they are officially only 33 degrees. Okay, well, it is very probable that Bush has risen in the ranks since then. The 33rd and above degrees are not public knowledge, since this is where they begin dealing with the interplanetary secret societies, with two alternative underground and alternative 2 underground, on alternative 3 space scenarios involving both humans and aliens. I hope you were able to follow that. The plan is to allow World War III to break out between right-wing and left-wing political factions that were actually financed by the Illuminati in Machiavellian fashion. Let both sides divide and conquer. And when this world is depopulated, the cult of the serpent, human and alien illuminists, plan to annex this planet to the main reptilian empire in Alpha Draconis and turn those humans who remain on Earth into electronically controlled subjects. The Dracos are, according to contactees, or abductees, involved in an ancient war with human-like beings in the Lyra section, or sector of space. Both the humans and reptilians reportedly once lived on Earth in prehistoric times and left the planet as a result of an ancient Earth changes and wars to found their respective confederations, and both desire to use Earth and its unique chemical, mineral, and genetic resources, along with its human population, with its inbred warrior instincts, as weapons to destroy the power base of the other side. I'll remind you that many of you probably accept channeling as valid. Well, let me tell you, the channeling and aliens work hand in hand. The two subjects are locked together. Also, let me remind you that whistleblowers will be instantly rejected by thinking folks, thinking in quotes, for telling such a bizarre story. It's a perfect satanic cover story.
the actual impact of the actor-based reality. Okay? Now, I do a lot of research, and in my research I find clues, and I will show you those clues here in a minute, but I'm going to show you the true identity of George Armstrong Custer. It's an actor by the name of Lawrence Barrett, Shakespearean actor. You can almost see it immediately, right? Especially the early photos of George Armstrong Custer. And this curly hair, okay, in his early years. Now, Barrett was a Shakespearean actor. And Lawrence Barrett, who loved to put on costumes, will put on the costumes of none other than George Armstrong Custer. Here are these earlier photos of Lawrence Barrett speak volumes, showing you that you're basically looking at an actor playing the part of George Armstrong Custer. So let me go to Fictionalized. Okay, George Armstrong Custer on the left, and Lawrence Barrett on the right. Now, I did another thing. I slightly varied one of the photos, and the Fictionalized goes bonkers if you score a jackpot. If you approach almost 100%, it just kind of shuts down. So I'm going to show you where it kind of shut down on me. Right there. Okay, it comes up 0. And it came up 0 because it was probably under 100%. All right? You can actually see the hairstyle very similar. That little fuzzy curly hair in the earlier pictures of George Armstrong Custer matches the little fuzzy curly hair of Lawrence Bartlett. So back to the better match, where you can see the meter showing you. See, look at the hair right over here. See on this side? And look at the hair over here. Now I know hair is not the only thing, but a Shakespearean actor by the name of Lawrence Barrett will play the role of George Armstrong Custer. Now, what really sealed the deal for me was this documentary, and I'm not going to show it because my video was blocked on the basis of copyright. But I don't think it was copyright that blocked it. It might have been the title. This documentary called Custer's Last Stand, documentary on the life and death of General Custer. At about 58 minutes into it, the narrator will tell you that General George Custer had a wonderful friend, his closest friend. And guess who that closest friend was? A Shakespearean actor by the name of Lawrence Barrett.